Jam! Hello again, and welcome to another fun-filled episode of Monday Night Magic here on the MTG Cast Network. I am Chewie, and I am joined, as almost always, by those guys. Those guys are Cluze.
Hey! Hi, everyone. How are you doing? And a big hello to everyone joining us from the northeast corner of Iowa.
563
Where?
area code.
That is the 563 area code, correct?
It's not a real state.
Iowa?
Yeah,
You know, I knew
it's
a
got
guy in
four
high
letters.
school. I knew a guy in
Doesn't
high
count.
school who believed that Iowa didn't exist, like at all.
Well, yeah, because it's got 4 letters. Like, why would you name a state with so few letters?
Yeah,
It was
it's
purely a government conspiracy to lead people to believe that Iowa did not exist.
stupid.
That is a waste of resources.
That if you flew from, say, Illinois to Nebraska, what really happened is that your plane flew up and then just did some circles for a while
No
to
one
make you
flies to
think.
Nebraska. This scenario is dumb.
Look,
No,
This
I know
was-
people that have flown to Nebraska, I have to say. I myself have driven there twice. No, just once. Once was to Kansas. Same
That
thing.
is not the same as flying.
That is true. But these same people have flown to Nebraska many times. Although I didn't go, so they might be lying.
You guys probably believe in the flat Earth too.
I will come. to
Hi,
your
I'm
house
Bill.
in
I'm
person.
also on this show.
Yeah, there's also
Yes.
Squee, by the way.
Squee, yes.
Okay, so we have to start off first with a public service announcement.
Do.
The world is not flat.
Oh yeah, let's start there. Yes, this is key. The world, not flat.
Okay, let's see here. Jared Troy sent me, well, he posted on the Manipul's Facebook page. Bad news, guys. Last night, 6/3/2017, so that's June 6th, his complete Magic collection was stolen from his car in Port Huron, Michigan. It had a black backpack with patches. The patches were a Canadian flag, a French Liberty patch, a Highlander Sea patch, a Niagara patch, and the last couple are boats. It had a Merfolk deck, a burn deck, he doesn't specify which format. It also says no band, you are twin deck. I have no idea what that means, but I could tell he was writing this in a hurry. It then says book, a deck protector, 4 slots, black and red book, an Ultra Pro M15 Jace book, and a box, deck protector with 2 decks and a blue-red box. We'll work on more later. Here we go. A signed Steam Vent from the original printing, a playset of Grand Prix Stoneforge Mystics, and a playset of Texas Player Reward Lightning Bolts, among other things. But he said it's worth between 20 and 50 grand. So this was not a
I'm going to
small...
assume that makes it legacy or vintage.
Yeah, I'm guessing that these are legacy, I'm guessing.
That'd be my guess.
So yeah, if any of this pops up near you in Port Huron, Michigan, then watch out. It may be stolen goods.
Yeah, put out the word to your local stores
Yes.
in the greater, let's say, I don't know, Great Lakes area.
Well, just everywhere in case this person... Well, I mean, they were stolen from his car at his home. 1, do not leave that much stuff in your car ever.
Good advice.
Ever.
However, let's not victim blame here, but that is a good PSA. Don't leave stuff in your car.
Don't ever do that. And B, I forgot where I was going with that. 1, don't do that. And then B, if any of this pops up anywhere at all, I mean, chances are this is someone that knew the guy, which is even worse.
Yeah. it
Yeah,
is.
no one... Well, I say no one. Like, for the most part, if Magic the Gathering product is being stolen, it's at least being stolen by someone who knows it's worth something.
Yeah.
There are 1,000,001 stories out there of people break into your house and they steal the $200 TV and leave the priceless crap that was sitting in front of your TV that they just didn't realize was nerd stuff.
Exactly. So yeah, keep an eye out, pass the word to your local stores and all of that, and thank you for your support. Now, on to happier news. Oh wait, no, we're talking about Standard. Never mind.
Aw. How would we do that?
Okay, I thought that was probably not warranted, but I thought it was funny. So we've got Grand's Prix. Grand's Prix?
Prixus?
Grand's Prixus.
Prixus. Yes.
Yeah. We've got 3 this week because Standard.
Sure.
So first we've got Grand Prix Manila, where 757 people were playing in the main event. Shout out to people in Newport News. 757 area code. The Hampton
Oh,
Roads,
okay. There we go.
Hampton
All right.
Roads
Yes.
area.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, because we've got so many GPs to talk about, we're just going to cover this relatively quickly. We've got Ryuichi Tamada one playing Blue White Flash. What? Shut up, phone. Oh, people are retweeting the. Okay, that's fine, phone.
Wait, they heard us and they went ahead and started. Are we simulcasting?
It doesn't matter. They're never going to call in.
Those bastards. So yeah, Blue White Flash, which really looks like the old Blue White Flash deck. It's just got Glory Bound Initiate and doesn't have that thing that's banned, who I can't be bothered to remember because it's banned. What was he called? You know, the blue-white guy that made Flash work.
Reflector Mage?
There we go, that guy.
Would you say that he was cast out?
No.
See, it's got 2 copies of cast out. No, nothing.
I said
Okay,
no.
I'm sorry. I'll see myself out.
So, okay, if you take the Blue-White Flash deck, you fiddle with the numbers a bit, you throw in Scrap Heap Scrounger, and you throw in Heart of Kirin and Ethersphere Harvester, so you've thrown in a total of three new cards. You now have Esper Vehicles in second place, piloted by, oh lord, Ki Wen Tao?
Close enough for Monday Night Magic.
K Wen Tao?
I'm not even going to try.
It's one of those. Something like that. But yeah, it's almost the same deck, but Scrap Heap Scrounger and 4 vehicles. So, whole new deck name. In third place, we have Iman Von Valerio playing Teamer Marvel. Well, it's called Teamer Marvel Works now. Okay. Which, yeah, get used to that.
Oh, no, I'm sure this is the only time we'll see a deck like this today.
In this top 8 it is. Spoilers. In fourth place, wait, these are in order, right? Yeah, okay, they are. Wei Pong Ming is running Red Green Pummeler, which is the Red Green energy deck with Electrostatic Pummeler, Voltaic Brawler, Bristling Hydra, and also run us the Indomitable, because Trample seems good. It's also
It's
running
in there.
Uncaged Fury, because Double Strike at instant speed is hilarious.
I mean, that's true. It's also frustrating when you don't block something and now you're dead.
Pretty much.
Can we just call this card Nick?
Which card is that?
Uncaged Fury, both because of Nicolas Cage and Nick Fury. We'll just call this card Nick.
But it's uncaged.
So in fifth place...
Completely abandoned Cluze on that one.
Yup.
Hey, I'm used to it. It's fine. I work better alone.
What place did I say? In fifth place, we have Cholo Pascual running Mardu Blue, which this is... So if you take the Mardu Vehicles deck and the White-Blue Flash deck, and you smash them together, you get this deck. It's essentially the Esper Vehicles deck that we just looked at, with Veteran Motorist, Harness Lightning, and Unlicensed Disintegration thrown in. Or it's the Mardu Vehicles deck with Metallic Rebuke and Spell Queller thrown in. Either way, it's a weird mashup of the two. Because they share a lot of cards, it turns out.
Yeah.
Sixth place, we have Mark Anthony Biala running Mono Black Zombies. Hey, look at that.
Hey, I thought that this deck was going to be a lot more popular.
I mean,
The Mono Black Zombies, because we saw all the zombies in was that
Because
the
it's
Pro
affordable.
Tour?
I think that was the Pro Tour. Hey, that reminds
I
me.
feel like
When's
that was
the
the Pro
next
Tour.
B&R update?
The
In like a week.
14th, I want to say.
The 14th, you say?
Yeah, that date sticks in my
That's a
head. I may be
Wednesday.
right. Yeah, that's right. We put them on Wednesdays now. Look, I don't know. 11th?
That's a Sunday. So the 12th?
Let's go
is it
We're
next
just
week?
playing math here.
13th.
That's a Tuesday.
Okay, hold on. I got this.
Okay, here we go.
10th?
June 14th. Yeah, okay.
Wait, so it is the 14th?
Yeah.
So I was right.
Mm,
Isn't that what I said the first time was the 14th?
you did. Why is it on a Wednesday?
I don't know. I just knew that the 14th stuck in my head.
Is it because that's when they're going to do the emergency extra ban?
Huh. But it says that the effective date for that will be the 19th after Grand Prix Las Vegas. Okay. So I guess we won't talk about the banned restricted list update next week? That's weird.
Evidently not.
Well, unless something goes terribly wrong.
Maybe they'll offset the last one by banning things 2 days early.
Excuse me. That was pretty good. Anyway, moving on. In 7th place, Ray Anthony Koo is running Black Green Constrictor.
I do not approve.
Would you rather it be more Aetherworks Marvel?
No, I just don't like snakes.
Oh, well, don't get on any
Leave
planes.
it to Cluze to like hate on the deck that doesn't have blue in it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, still don't like snakes. And I'm sorry, but I'm pretty sure that I should not mouse over one of these sideboard cards.
Oh, well then you don't do that and we'll move on. In 8th
Excellent.
place, Dunstan Towley is running Mardu Vehicles. Or not Esper Vehicle, whatever.
Cars.
Cars. And Wait.
Is one of them Cars? The other one is Cars 2?
Cars 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Or which one is Planes? I never saw a plane.
That's the non-Pixar one, so no one cares.
Okay.
Yeah. But
That
there
would
were
explain why I didn't
planes
see it.
in Cars 2? I never saw the second one.
I did not believe in the second one, so I never saw it.
Fair enough then. Okay then.
I don't even know how they're making a 3.
So that's your top 8. Now, if we go to the top moments, that's where we find
top
the
stories this time.
top stories. That's where we find the day 2 metagame breakdown. For some reason, we've got Teamer Marvel Works, which I really don't like that name, is only 24.5% of day 2, which is
Only a quarter.
damn near a quarter, not half. So that's an improvement. We've got Mardu Vehicles at 13%, Blue-Red Control at 8%, Mono Black Zombies at 6%, and then from there it drops off sharply.
Jeskai vehicles.
Yeah, which is still just a different variation of the same deck, I'm sure, or the same 2 decks.
Remember, kids, black-green energy and red-green energy are different.
Well, to be fair, those are very different.
They are. It's really entertaining how the archetypes are falling into. We picked a few words and then we put different colors in front of them.
Pretty much, yeah. But yeah, so there you go. That's because there's so much to talk about. That's where we're going to stop for Manila. Bam. So let's move on to, where's this? Amsterdam, where 1,170. Wow, 1,170 people were playing in the main event. That's a good number.
Nice.
And let's see here. Are these in order? I think they are. Lucas
They appear to
Blahan
be,
won.
yeah.
Do what?
They appear to be, yes.
Oh, good. Lucas Blahan won playing Black Green Delirium. Hey, look at that. Remember that deck?
I get delirious.
I can't make the noise that goes with that. That wasn't it either, but close enough.
No, close
No,
enough.
just based on the reactions we've been giving Cluze for his puns.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care. Actually, I do care. I'm broken up inside.
Oh, good.
Hey, Cluze, this
So-
deck has snakes in it.
Yeah, not happy about that. I don't even like hissing Quagmire.
I think I would like hissing Quagmire less than I would like just a snake.
Giggity.
I don't like Quagmire in general, so hey.
I just don't like swamps. Like, as far as places to be.
Oh, I would not want to be there. They're gross.
Yeah. So, okay, moving on. Second place, Benjamin Luft is running Blue-Red Control.
I like the red part.
There is not a lot of it.
No, but the
I
red
mean-
part is pretty good.
Yeah, the red part, you've got your Sweltering Suns, your Magma Spray, and your Harness Lightning.
Yeah, those are nice.
Yeah, that's it, though. And half of Wandering Fumarole.
Yeah, I guess half the card's okay.
Fumarole. Yeah, everything else is your usual counter, card draw, bounce. Okay, is there any bounce? No, it's counter and card draw.
We've got a Chandra and a Dragon Master Outcast in the sideboard. Those are also nice.
Yay. Oh, well, there's also a Thing in
Bounce
the
would be
Ice.
the brutal expulsion.
There's also Thing in the Ice and Kefnet in the board. Damn.
Yeah, those aren't as nice.
Oh, but they're neat. Anyway, moving on. Where are we in? That was second. So in third
Third.
place, we've got Michael Marisi running Esper Vehicles. This one is slightly different in that it's got Eldrazi Sky Spawner. And
Yeah, I
the only
see that.
vehicles are Heart of Kirin. So it's essentially the Blue-Eyed Flash deck with Scrap Heap Scrounger and Heart of Kirin. And that's it.
We cast out the rest of the vehicles.
In fourth place, I don't remember how to say this guy's name. It's been too long since I've heard it pronounced. I'm just going to call him Arjen van Leeuwen because it's close to that. He's running Do what?
I would think it would be Lewin.
Lewin. Well, I can't say it right, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we're going to be wrong.
But he is running a red-green... Well, it's red-green energy.
But Pummeler.
Yeah, they've named it Pummeler because Pummeler. Oh, there's no Uncaged Fury in this deck because Instant Speed Double Strike isn't funny enough. Sorry.
The Electrostatic Pummeler is like the wannabe Chameleon Colossus, right?
I mean, it totally is Chameleon Colossus. It just eats energy instead of green mana.
Yeah, it's a lot harder to get infinite energy.
True. But it's a lot easier without shenanigans to just accrue a lot of energy to go blah. So, yeah, it's fine.
Because you cast Larger Than Life, and then you spend energy instead of mana, and then they're, oh god, what happened?
You died. All right, so moving on, that was 4th place. To 5th place, Jelko Bodiwas, B is running a Teamer Aetherworks Marvel. Hey, look at that.
Da-da-da.
Gotta love that. Still, only one in the top 8. Spoilers. In next place, what is that? 6th place, Thomas Hendricks is running Black-Green Delirium. Huh, how about that? I thought that Marvel would just rule the world, but apparently not. That's good, though. That's good. In 7th place, Alexander Mertens, there we go, is running a Black-Green Energy deck. With,
Go get him, Nissa.
Nissa and Walking Ballista, and... Why is it energy? Oh, because it's got the Long Tusk Hub and the... where'd he go? Greenbelt Rampager and the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Nice. What is the energy there for?
Harvester?
Harvester... Ether Hub... Oh, the Glint Sleeve Siphoner eats energy. Duh. Okay, there we go.
Oh, right, yeah. Card draw.
Oh, and the Long Tusk Hub also eats energy. For some reason, that's not what that card is in my brain, just when I run through it real quick. I don't know what I'm confusing it with. My bad. Anyway, yeah, lots of energy. Duh. And then in 8th place, Raphael Kors is running a very similar, but not quite black-green energy deck. What's going on? He doesn't have Nissa.
She's over in the board.
He's got Ronus in the main. Spells are a little different. Yeah. Still close enough. Another black-green energy deck. So that's your top 8. In the top stories, we have the Day 2 metagame breakdown. Well, technically, who makes Day 2 of a GP these days? I don't even remember how that works.
X and 3 are better, isn't it?
Okay. So I love Frank Karsten to death, but sometimes I don't understand. He says here, the name of the section, in all caps, bolded, all that, Marvel was popular, but is no longer the undisputed king of Standard. And then there's a big-ass pie chart that shows Marvel variants, mostly Teamer, at 43% of the players who started Day 2 with 7-2 or better record. Isn't 43% damn near half?
It does seem to be accurate.
Okay. Just check.
But it didn't win.
That is true, but it's still everybody.
We only had one Marvel deck make it to the top 8.
That is true, which is a plus.
It is a testament to the top deck's ability to likely sideboard.
Yeah. Or to main board against it.
Or to just be like planning against it, yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, that's cool, I guess. Still lots of... So we had 25%, close enough, a little less than 25% in Manila. We had 43% here. So that's a thing. Let's move over. Where's the last one? Omaha?
Wait. Before I move over to Omaha, I just want to point something out.
Okay.
They've been doing for a little while here on the main Magic website, the mothership, as it were. And it's illustrated well by this set of cards that is just below that pie chart you were talking about.
Okay.
So we've got 5 cards laid out here, and they're laid out really nicely. It's very aesthetically pleasing, but if you mouse over them, it moves the card you're moused over up, and it kind of dims the others. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed that, but they've been doing this sort of thing in articles lately with making the kind of mouse over highlight things nicely.
And it takes the others out of focus and dims them.
Yeah. And I just want to
nice.
say that's pretty sweet. I like that little bit of design. I don't know what they're doing there, but I like it. That is all.
I like the text that is immediately around that effect too. Now that I'm reading a little closer, because just like what we were just saying, 15 Marvel players in the 9th to 32nd place finishers shows that the turn 4 Ulamog thing that the deck is known for is pretty crazy. But then when you do the number crunch on the situations that have to go into it, it says here only 9.4% of the games have the turn 4 Ulamog. And when I read that, I'm reading that as, you mean you get a free win 9.4% of the time and the rest of the time you have to play? That sounds awesome. That's sick. This is supposed to be the deck's not dominating and only gets free wins 10% of the time.
10% of the time, it works every time.
That means 90% of the time you have a fair game of Magic? I'll take a free 10%. That sounds great. No wonder half the field's doing it.
Damn near half.
Damn near half.
Right.
But we can't name it that because we already have. We need a new name for this episode.
We do. Maybe we'll find inspiration in Omaha.
Maybe.
Darn near half.
Maybe.
Daggum half.
So right now, as far as we can tell, Standard is not a garbage fire that we're rolling around in.
Certainly not.
I managed to work it in a way that was
subtle until you called it out.
I've completely lost the word I was trying to say. So let's move on.
It was also supposed to be dumpster fire, but go on.
No. Bill said garbage fire earlier.
Did he?
It was funny because Charlotte was a dumpster fire, remember?
Hey, did you know that you can learn all about what we're talking about on the odds and ends if you are... No, that's for the end of the show. I'm sorry. Carry on.
So let's move on to Omaha and Nebraska. See?
Yeah.
That state has enough letters.
Which had 831 people playing Standard. And hey, look, Brad Nelson won. Check that out.
I think I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. It's been a while since he was on top of a Grand Prix, though. So that's pretty awesome. Didn't he just win the Open last week?
He did, yes.
Yeah. Well, we talked about that, didn't we? Earlier today. Yeah. I knew it sounded familiar for some reason. So yeah, Brad Nelson won playing Teamer Marvel. Boo.
Hey, now surely that's the only Marvel deck we'll have here. It's fine.
Probably. So let's go.
Based on the other tournaments, 1 in 8, no big deal.
Yeah, maybe 2, it'll be fine. Second place, yeah, here we go. Sam Pardee is running Black-Green Constrictor.
Still don't approve.
Yeah, but don't worry about it, Cluze. What are the odds of there being more Black-Green Constrictors? 1 in 8?
That's 1 in 8. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. So in third place, we have Dylan, last name I cannot even come close to pronouncing.
Ionis.
Ionis? Yeah, we'll go with that.
It's wrong, but it sounds cool.
Yeah. He's running Teamer Marvel. Okay, there's our second one.
Yeah, there you go. That's the second.
We're good.
Great.
Okay, in fourth place, we got... there it is. Paul Dean is running Teamer Marvel.
Huh.
Right then.
It looks a little different than the previous Teamer Marvel. They've got Woodweaver's Puzzle Knot and Aetherworks Marvel in a different order listed here.
That is a meta choice.
Okay, that was fourth place. In fifth place, Hunter Cochran is running Teamer Marvel.
Huh. I don't think we've seen this deck before.
Which flavor of Absent is that? Confiscation coup. All right.
In sixth place, Andrew Ziggis, who has the best name, is running 4-color Marvel because he threw in Nahiri.
White.
So white. This is the deck that's got an extra color in it. In seventh place, Tyler Schroeder is running Teamer Marvel.
I think I may have hit my head just before the show. Did you just say Teamer Marvel again?
I did, unfortunately.
All right. I had the strangest sense of deja vu.
Yeah. So let's go to the top 8. The 8th place, which is Will Craddock, who's running Teamer Energy. Hey!
Hey, look at that. Question mark?
Ooh, it's got Elder Deep Fiend in it. Damn. But this is the Teamer Marvel deck without the Marvel. Without Ulamog. And with, energy guys.
Shazam deck.
And Glory Bringer. Glory Bringer is totally Reinhardt, right?
I hope so.
I mean, it's just...
For glory!
So, yeah. Now, after the Philippines and the Netherlands doing it right, and making progress, the U.S. just screws it all up.
Yep.
So the rest of the world could figure out how to beat the, deck of the moment, but the U.S. could not.
I don't know if it's a matter of figuring out how to beat it so much. It's just going, wow, free 10%.
And I really like the way that Frank Karsten, the way he worded that was, it's only 10%.
Yeah.
So, because there's no Day 2 metagame breakdown in the American event coverage here, let's jump to the 9th through 32nd deck lists.
Yeah.
We've got some Constrictor, Teamer Marvel, Mono Black Zombies, Teamer Marvel, that's 2, Teamer Marvel 3, Zombies, Pummeler, Jeskai Vehicles, Teamer Marvel, what is that, 4?
I believe that's 4.
Okay, hang on. 1... Let me do this without page down. 2, 3. Yeah, so this is 4. Teamer Energy. Teamer Marvel, 5. Teamer Energy. Mardu Vehicles. Teamer Energy. 4 color vehicles. Teamer Marvel, 6.
6.
7.
Yep.
Black Green Energy. What is this? Oh, this is Teamer Marvel. They just didn't even name it. 7.
Why bother?
Mardu Vehicles. Black Green Constrictor, Teamer Marvel 8, and then oh look, here's a red blue control. Nice. So 8 of the top 32, so that's a quarter.
Yeah, that's not even damn near a half.
Except that's not 8 of the top 32 because there were already 6 in the top 8. So it's 14 of the top 32. So yep, still damn near half.
Damn near half.
So it turns out that Standard is in fact a garbage fire.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, when we expand our horizons beyond the shores of the United States, it's a bit better than that.
It was still damn near half at one and 25% in the other, which that would be fine.
I said a bit better than that. Yeah, just a skosh.
Yeah, smidgen. So what do you think they're going to ban? You think they're going to ban Ulamog?
I don't think they're going to ban anything.
I don't either.
I don't know, man. Standard's pretty bad.
Doesn't matter at this point.
Yeah, we've had too many bannings too quickly. I think they're going to sit this one out.
They're going to say it's only 10%, and they're going to sit back.
But, okay, look, the first time they banned stuff in Standard in recent memory, it wasn't that bad. Just people hated it, and so they banned stuff. But because they banned one thing that people hated, they had to ban other stuff to balance it out. And then this last time, they got 2 days of Magic Online data and decided, oh, no, we got to ban something. Like, it seems like attendance numbers are down, and it seems like people hate it. Do you think they're really going to sit back, or do you think they're going to try to overcorrect?
No, I think they're going to sit back.
There's so much, like, for all the complaining that people are doing now, I think that if we get 3 consecutive bans, essentially, like, I know we skipped one, but, like, for the purposes of looking at it, like, the last block had a ban. This one had a ban. If we get another ban now, then what faith is anyone going to have in a Standard deck? It's already shaky.
Well, I mean, to be fair, though, we're living in a world that shouldn't have happened.
Oh, totally.
Like, there are extenuating circumstances. Like, this... Because what was supposed to rotate out, Battle for Zendikar?
Yeah.
Was supposed to have rotated out when these cards were developed. They were developed without that in mind.
I mean, that's entirely true, but on the same note, what faith are we going to have in Standard for the next 6 months before the actual rotation happens and things get back to where they're supposed to be?
That is true.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of it. I mean, we are dangerously close to a true crisis of faith in Standard.
Well, not us.
Well, not us. No. I mean, us collectively, not the 3 of us.
But I don't know, man. Like we said last week, even at Atomic Empire in Durham, North Carolina, it's a great job. You should check it out.
Indeed.
They're firing Legacy and Modern and Draft at Friday Night Magic, not Standard. And if Standard does fire, it's got 8 people. And they've got a large Magic community that comes to Atomic Empire. It's not like it's a Legacy shop, you know.
Yeah.
Like, they have a lot of people that come play Magic, and Standard doesn't fire.
I mean, I think the night we were there, we had, 30-some people for Modern that night?
I didn't ever hear a number, I don't think. If I did, it didn't stick.
Yeah, that's fine. But I think it was about 30 some for modern, and standard did not fire.
Yeah, but they were running legacy, modern, and limited.
They were,
but no standard. So yeah, that's bad.
It is bad. I mean,
that's a small sample size, but still.
So something we should mention. Okay, there are. I'm certain there are some people out there who are going, yeah, good. Let standard die. I love modern. Yeah, okay, slow down there, killer.
Those people are clearly dumb. And I said
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that they haven't thought carefully about it, because here's the thing. Okay, we all like Magic. If you don't like Magic and you're listening to this podcast, I'm mildly confused. Maybe not completely confused, but mildly confused.
We do have amazing personalities.
We do. We are our witty repartee and our puns. Definitely the puns totally carry the show.
Yes. Let's say.
Yeah, see? Let's say. But
maybe if they'd ever get on the payload.
We're not getting on the payload. There's no way. That thing is like death incarnate. I don't think it even heals.
Carry on. Tangent over.
Right. Modern is great. I know a lot of people love modern. I'm a big legacy fan. It's great, but any of those are not really what keeps Magic alive. And sure, you can argue, hey, yeah, if WotC goes under, I still have my cards and I can play modern. Yeah, that'll be great. How long are you going to keep playing those modern tournaments before your game stores stop actually being viable? I mean, standard is the lifeblood of Magic. Standard is what keeps WotC alive, making new sets, releasing new sets, selling new product. That's what keeps WotC going. Without standard, Magic has no future, period. End of discussion. It does not function without standard. You want a healthy standard format. Wizards wants a healthy standard format. Some things happened, okay? Some mistakes were made. There were some really weird shenanigans with how rotation was going to work, and some takesies backsies on that. And we're off the map. We're into an area that they did not plan on, that they did not really test for. So some weird stuff has happened. There are cards that should not have existed side by side for more than a month or two that are going to be there for a lot more than a month or two. And couple that with Here Be Dragons. Couple that with a couple of, shall we say, oversights, some card interactions that were not anticipated, or some decks that they didn't really think were going to be a big deal that suddenly were. But they've recognized that. They've come out and they've said, look, we're doing things to change how playtesting is going to work going forward. We're attempting to remedy that. Essentially, they're asking, look, we know we've made some errors, but stick with us. It's going to be better. And I think we should all cheer them on for that. We should all hope for that. We should not become giddy and laugh to ourselves that, oh, look how terrible standard is. I mean, sure, we make fun of standard, when it looks a little stagnant, but we're in the business of making fun of things. That's kind of what we do around these parts. But
we also have to do something to keep ourselves interested when we're reading the same deck list week in, week out, week in, week out.
Absolutely. So, but I want everybody to just take a minute to just take a step back and just seriously think about a future of what would happen to Magic if standard truly crashed and burned. And we don't want that. That is all.
Yeah, that would
be more
bad.
You know.
Da-na-na. So what's going on in standard right now? Like what's the actual issue here?
I mean, I think there's a few things going on. As we just mentioned, I think there is some uncertainty about it because, as noted, they've, due to circumstances that they planned for, had to ban cards in standard, which is usually the nuclear option for standard. You don't do that. You don't want to do it because the cards in standard already have a finite lifespan for the most part, unless they happen to become cross-format all-stars. Most of them are going to drop in value rapidly after they rotate.
Mm-hmm.
And given that, combined with just the increasing cost of standard over the last decade, we've got this thing where you're sort of expected to go in for a few $100s at the lower end to play standard. And you're expected to do this, I don't know, every 8 or so months as a new deck takes over. And that's a lot of cost when you compare it against if you were to say get into Modern, and yeah, you're going to put in some money in Modern, but it doesn't rotate. And unlike Legacy, it is still a lot more accessible. Legacy is one of those things where you buy your way in, and it doesn't have to be super expensive, but there's a lot of cards that just are going to feel like a pain punch when you buy them. In Standard, you could just go and open packs and hope, or you can, just buy boxes and hope that you fill out enough of it. Whereas Legacy, you generally can't do that. You have to buy things at price, and a lot of people don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's going to hurt.
And in Modern, they've done such a great job of giving card availability through the Modern Master sets and the other non-standard card releases that you can get most of what you need for a lot of these decks, or you can trade for it. You can even trade your Standard staples to someone who wants to play Standard against someone who, hangs on the Modern cards. And if you want to get into Modern, this is awesome, because Modern, when they first launched it, it had lots of bannings and unbannings. It was very fluid as they were trying to decide what the format was. But lately, they've been pretty stabilized with it. And if I were to play a constructed format right now, I would not invest in a format where, half of the cards are going to rotate this fall. Why would I do that? Why would I jump in for that when I could instead throw into Modern and have a deck that'll be around? It might not always be the best, but it'll be around. It's just rough. They've done an amazing job of making Modern viable, and in the process, they're competing with themselves now in the Standard front. The bannings make people less comfortable on top of the already existing rotation stuff. And in general, when you look at the decks that have been doing really well in Standard for the last few months, you had a crazy combo deck that, made a billion cats and killed you. Or now you have a kind of combo deck that dumps an Eldrazi on you on turn 4 10% of the time and you lose. Neither of those feels very good. And if you're afraid of things like that, and you want to go, oh, well, I'll just play a control deck so that I don't have that happen to me. Why would you play a control deck in Standard when you can go into Modern or somewhere that actually has good, reliable counterspells that make Cluze hiss? There are better places to go if that's the kind of gameplay you want. Also, if you look at a Modern top 8, there's a wide variety of decks. You don't get these super stacked ones. You can play a lot of different things. And if the weekend happens to fall on the meta that you want, then you've got a major edge that you can run with. So I think there's a lot going on there. It doesn't mean that Standard is necessarily horrible or beyond forgiveness or anything, but just looking at the environment, if you wanted to invest, I would have a hard time justifying Standard. And I think Wizards knows that. And that's why they're making a lot of energy right now saying, we're going to do better for testing. Here's what we're doing to fix it. We're going to, do more bannings if we have to prevent these things being problematic. They're putting a lot of energy into offsetting the problems caused by the shift in what would be Standard from what they tested. And I think by the fall, it'll be a little more clear where things are supposed to be. And then moving on from there, they'll have had enough lead time that hopefully they factored it in.
And I do argue that the biggest risk to Standard isn't a stagnant meta. And it isn't a single dominant deck. It isn't a boring meta. It's a loss of faith. And repeated constant bannings is the thing that will make people lose faith. And that's why I think they'll sit this one out.
Interesting. I have nothing to add. I was just absorbing all of that. So, dear listeners, let us know what you think. Somewhere.
Feedback. Input. Number Johnny 5.
Yes.
Please wasn't ready for that.
I don't think
No, I was not. Thank you, though.
So, what do we have next week? Next week Vegas?
Modern.
Is next week Vegas? Vegas, June.
I don't think we're at Vegas yet.
Yeah. 15th
is
to
it
the
next?
16th. The next event is Vegas.
Yeah, but that's not. Is it next week or is it the week after? I thought it was the week after.
The 15th through the 18th.
Yeah,
okay.
So that occurs next week, but occurring this week is going to be other stuff.
Yeah, so this week there are no more GPs.
Yeah, so it's an SCG Modern thing in Charlotte.
Yeah, the Star City Open is in Charlotte, so it's Modern because that's all they have there.
Right, that's how I remember it.
Excuse me.
Don't die. Don't you do it.
And then the week after that, we get Legacy on Thursday and Friday.
Yes.
Limited on Friday and Saturday, and Modern on Saturday and Sunday. Poor Legacy.
Hey, wait, I'm sorry. Could you read those events to me again?
Legacy is Thursday, Friday.
Yep, that sounds
15th and
great.
16th. Limited is 16th and 17th, which is Friday, Saturday, and Modern is 17th, 18th.
Yep, okay, checks out. Okay, good.
Yeah, no standard.
Yep.
But they made that announcement way back before Modern was, or before Standard was, this bad.
They knew.
Or I guess it was a different kind of this bad? It was a different kind of this bad. Anyway. Something. So, the other big news is they've revealed the Archenemy thing.
Archenemy Nicol Bolas.
Yeah, because he's the bad guy.
He is.
What?
Yeah. So let's see. This time it comes in a big-ass box.
Yeah. That is a very large box.
Okay, let's just stop right there. That is actually kind of neat, because I remember the original Archenemy, and keeping all that stuff together in one place was terribly difficult.
Yeah.
I appreciate how it comes with another one of those neat life counter things.
Yeah, the thing that originally only came in the Commander's Arsenal and was part of the reason why it was so damn expensive.
A bajillion dollars.
Yeah, so this comes out June 16th. It is $60 MSRP in the US.
Mm-hmm.
It comes with Nicol Bolas's bad guy deck, like magic deck, Nicol Bolas's scheme deck, and then one deck each for Chandra, Pyromaster, Gideon Jura, and Nissa can't read the name
World Waker.
World Waker.
Because she remembers that set.
She does.
I would like to reiterate everyone, that's Gideon Jura as in the broken one.
Yeah, the original.
Yep. And new artwork on all 4 of those Planeswalker cards that
4. Oh,
and
hey,
just
rattled off.
Look at Nikki B getting new artwork.
Yep.
Everybody gets new artwork. In fact, the Gideon, Chandra, and Nissa are actually put together artwork.
Yep.
They're a triptych.
Oh, they are?
Mm-hmm.
It's neat. Now you know where to sit.
Yay.
If you sit in the wrong order, you flavor lose.
Which is the greatest crime in Archenemy.
It really is the worst kind of losing. But yeah, so in case you don't know what Archenemy is, it's a 3-on-1 format where one player is Nicol Bolas playing the Nicol Bolas deck and the scheme deck. And then the other 3 are all fighting against him. And they take turns at once, right? Don't they all take turns at the same time? Yeah, they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apparently there are rules changes now where you can, when the Archenemy attacks any player or planeswalker on the opposing team, any creature a teammate of the defending player controls may be assigned as a blocker. Oh god, that's so hard to read. What he's saying is, much like in Magic when you attack, like let's say you're playing Two-Headed Giant and you attack, you're just attacking.
Yeah, so hold on. Let's bring this back. So Steve on the bus is going to be Nicol Bolas.
Because evil. Got it.
And Chewie,
Steve on the Bolas, check.
Chewie, Squee, and I are playing the other 3 decks against Steve on the bus.
Right.
So Steve on the bus decides that he hates Chewie.
Naturally.
So he's going to attack Chewie till he's dead.
Like
All of Chewie's creatures are gone. It just happened. But thankfully, Squee has some creatures, and he can stick them in the way to block for Chewie.
Which is a big shift from the old way.
Yeah, totally a big shift from the old way.
Yeah.
Because
Go ahead.
The whole thing with the Archenemies is that between the schemes and the Archenemy deck, if the Archenemy focuses one person, they will kill them.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's very easy. Like, especially in this one, there's a lot of cards that are just like, and then kill those creatures. And then do damage to, that player or whatever.
We should probably explain this scheme deck.
Well, we can do that in a second. But essentially, they have the resources and the cards, the ability to knock the players out one at a time. And once, the allied team starts losing people, it becomes really hard for them to win because they're just completely underdogged against the Archenemy.
Yeah.
So the ability to keep each other alive, which you previously had very little control over, matters.
Yeah. So...
But the scheme deck, we should at least mention what that is. So the Archenemy, in addition to having their own deck and hand that they play with, they have a completely separate second deck called the Scheme deck, and they flip up a new Scheme card periodically. The Scheme is almost never, ever good for the other players. So you can kind of think of it as, have you ever played a Plane Chase? And there's the Plane Chase deck that's like separate from everybody else's deck. It's kind of like that, except the plane that gets turned up, quote unquote, in the Plane Chase. If you've ever run across the situation where you're playing Plane Chase and you flip up the one and it's like, oh, that's really good for that guy and it's terrible for me. Yeah, that's how it always works with the Scheme deck. It's always good for Nicol Bolas and probably pretty bad for you.
I like how you explained the supplemental mechanic by bringing up another unrelated supplemental mechanic.
Well, the other supplemental mechanic I think is more well known, shall we say.
Right. But yeah, suffice it to say, this means that Nicol Bolas is effectively, in addition to having a deck and more life total than you, he's also got things that will just screw you over every turn to make it a vaguely fair fight, theoretically, because it's 3-on-1 otherwise.
Yeah.
And the effects on these cards are generally pretty dramatically strong. And if they come out in the wrong order, it can make the game generally unwinnable for the heroes, based on how it went with the old Archenemy decks. We don't know how well they've tuned this one.
Did you play much of the old Archenemy, either of you?
Yeah. Original Archenemy was just the bad guys decks, right?
I believe so. Because I remember
Yes.
People would play their normal decks or their normal group game decks against it, and they weren't well tuned for it, generally speaking.
No.
So let's see. Let me go look at this. Each of the 4 Archenemy game packs contains a 60-card theme deck and 20 oversized Scheme cards. So yeah, each of the original Archenemy was just the bad guys decks.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to come up with something yourself to fight against them. And so this way, this is much more balanced, straight out of the box, shuffle up and play, which is probably a help. I've been saying for a long time that Archenemy was the worst of the supplemental multiplayer nonsense that Wizards had come out with. Because Plane Chase has its problems, but it's a lot of fun, and we still play Plane Chase whenever us dorks get together. Commander, of course, is riding the wave of the most popular alternate format ever. And Archenemy was always just bad. Because every game is a slaughter. Either the Archenemy murders you horribly, or the Archenemy goes meh, and you murder them horribly because it's 3-on-1. And that's how it played out every time. I don't think we ever had more than maybe one good game of Archenemy ever. And your mileage may vary, but that was ours every time, to the point where we don't even bother anymore most of the time, mainly because our Magic playing time is limited, so we don't want to play something that sucks if we can help it.
Yeah.
But this is probably better.
I think the fact that they sort of took the dual deck approach of these 3 decks are meant to face this deck,
yeah,
and the cards in it, is probably going to go a long way to making this work. Like, I'm actually tempted to pick this up as a self-contained, 4 people can play now. And even though, you're going to be putting the weight of being Nicol Bolas on one person, like, this might not be the worst way to get a group of people who are casual together, since they don't have to bring any cards. They are going to be very actively supporting one another in a cooperative game.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a new person who wants in and they want to contribute. You can hand them one of these decks and put them with 2 other people, and that's a way to learn. And you can always take turns with who gets to be Nicol Bolas when people get bored. And then eventually people can bring in their own decks and so on and so forth. But like the idea of just a ready-made, spend $60 and have out of the box Magic that's designed to play together for 4 people. It's really hard to beat that from an actual value standpoint.
Yeah. Like, as long as all 4 people have even a basic knowledge of how to play Magic, it's just a board game. Like,
yeah.
And that's awesome.
Like, I would do this before I would go out and get, 5 commander decks for people. Because these are also normal sized decks that are properly tuned to specifically take on a given adversary. And they're not going to require you to know a million keywords or anything like that to work.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. And just looking over them, like, they're monocolor decks. I mean, like, Nicol Bolas isn't, but I believe each of the Planeswalker decks. Oh, no, there's some islands in Nissa's. She's betrayed you, Cluze.
Oh, that's a mistake.
But yeah, the Chandra deck is mountains. The Gideon deck is plains. So I guess Nissa is touching blue a little bit.
I never trusted her.
Well, she went blue last time we saw her. But regardless, these look fairly straightforward, and you can always just be like, okay, you're the deck with Thragtusk. Be awesome.
Yep.
And you can do that. So I don't know. I might actually pick this one up. I also just dig the art on the schemes. Like, a lot of this art's really nice. And the frame on this is way cooler than a lot of the other frames I've seen in supplemental products because they rightfully emphasize the art.
Yeah.
So
True that.
I just
Like-
love the flavor text on all of these. Like, I haven't read the schemes at all, but I'm reading the flavor text, and it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, this is brutal. Your companions were lucky to have died first.
That card is called No One Will Hear Your Cries.
Right?
Those are great. I love the arrogance of the Archenemy cards.
Well, and especially because it's Bolus, and we know
Yeah, it fits.
he's extremely arrogant.
Like, whatever voice you attribute to Bolus in your head, you can imagine that that's something that he would say.
Like, the very last one is called The Mighty Will Fall. And it says, cry out for your comrades so that they may join you in misery. And it's him, like, batting Gideon Jura off of a building. Like, damn! Yeah.
I think I like The World Belongs to Me because the flavor text is little insects. I have created entire worlds and extinguished twice as many. It's like, wow, you put me down twice.
That's
cold.
That's sick, bruh.
Yeah, but I appreciate the fact that there's also a lot of art shout outs. Like, what's yours is now mine is a variation on Slave of Bolus.
Yeah.
And it does a lot of what Slave of Bolus does. So that's pretty sweet. It's like, give me that. It's mine now.
This is so cool. Make yourself useful. When you set the scheme in motion, destroy target creature and opponent controls. If a creature is destroyed this way, you gain life equal to its toughness, because there might not be creatures to do. And the flavor text is, to think you've spent years honing your body, only to die like this. Like, damn!
You're imagining his giant dragon pinky finger going up to his mouth as he says this.
No, because
He's
this
just
is...
Dr. Eviling the crap out of you.
This is, like, actually chilling.
Yeah.
Ugh. This is like, what if Skeletor was an actual badass, you know?
Okay, well, now I'm going to imagine Skeletor reading these things. Don't fret, infants. It wouldn't have worked anyway.
Vow your allegiance to true power. Like, okay.
The dune smells spilled blood. Skeletor, what are you doing here? Yep, this is how you play Archenemy now. It's canon.
I wonder if he's got a beast man to smack around. Huh.
Isn't that what Gideon is in that last picture?
To Bolus, everyone is Beastman.
Oh,
Ooh, that's rough.
That is cold.
Ouch.
But anyway, if you'd like to take a look at the deck lists, or there's a reveal video here, Game Nights, which I guess is a thing that people do. I have no idea what that is, but it's got Gavin Verhey in it, so that's reason enough to watch it.
It is.
And it's, how long is it? Oh, it's an hour long. No, don't, shut up. Oh, it's what's his name? Wong. I forgot his first name.
Jimmy
Wong, thank you. Yeah, Jimmy Wong and Josh Lee Kwai and Gavin Verhey and a fourth person who is not listed, but is female. Oh, wait. The set's lead designer. No. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Mel Lee. Melissa Lee. Okay, that's the fourth person. I had to keep digging on in the description here. This is why you read the description of YouTube videos, people. Hint, hint. So anyway, yeah, there you go. If you want to watch these four actually play one out, then there you go. That's in this article. Nice.
Neat.
And, okay, so let's see. We've got Stolen Magic Collection. Spread the word. We've got Not Quite a Garbage Fire. We've got Archenemy and Skeletor. All right, I guess it's time for Magic Online, right?
Yeah, my favorite thing is that last week we did the podcast on Tuesday.
We did.
So a lot of my Magic Online notes are from last week, but not all of them. So just as the usual reminder, like most of the stuff comes out on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and sometimes Thursdays for the bug blogs. When we record on Mondays, that means that most of my stuff is old and irrelevant. But this week they actually put out some other things after the stuff that we talked about last Tuesday. So for starters, and for the most exciting part, I think, They've got another throwback standard gauntlet, so we're gonna chill in the early 2000s even more. Last time we had all these really cool, 2000-ish, 2002 or so standard stuff. And this time around, we're going to go back to that place that gave you those scars. So, did my links get overwritten?
Yeah, my link takes me somewhere else.
That is incorrect. I will get the real link in real time.
Yay!
Weird. All right. But yeah, so suffice it to say, we're going to be in the throwback gauntlets like before. So it's going to be limited events, which will have phantom decks, so you don't get to keep the cards, but you will get to play with cards that were really important during a given period of time. In this case, it's the Mirrodin standard, which I'm going to now give everybody a proper link to.
Yay, proper link.
Ba-bam. So Mirrodin standard is known for a few things. For starters, it is the place where cards got banned. Throw that right out there. Mirrodin was like the stand-up example of these cards need to be fixed right now. And it was, in fact, the last time that cards were banned in Standard until Jace the Mind Sculptor, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So a large part of the problems with that are actually elements of the first deck that you can get in here called Affinity. Not Decepticons, actual Affinity. Affinity for artifacts being the mechanic that lets things become free because mistakes were made. And because we're rolling back to that period of time, there are, in fact, artifact lands in this deck. So,
yep, Arcbound Ravager, Disciple of the Vault, and the artifact lands, all of the things that were banned.
Mm-hmm. Part of that experience, and now you can see why they were banned. But yeah, there's lots of affinity cards in here. So the general strategy with affinity is you have all these cards in your hand. Oh, no, they're on the battlefield. Oh, you're killing them. Cool.
Yeah. So this
Cranial plating can come too.
This is Camille Corneliussen's deck that made the top 8 of Worlds 2004. And yeah, it's the first one to use Ether Vial. And this is what this deck looked like after this tournament. Like, this isn't the deck that made the finals, but this is the deck that people ended up playing.
Yeah.
Oh my god, Frogmite. Oh, there's a Tog in this deck.
Yeah, it's 3 of them.
And Mirror Retriever. Oh. So this deck could just, like, do the combo with Disciple of the Vault, or it could just vomit its hand onto the board and beat you to death.
Mm-hmm.
Either one works.
So that's plating affinity, relying on cranial plating, which has the ability to make one of your creatures ridiculously dangerous. And which one it is kind of up in the air because you can attach it to things at instant speed by paying black.
And it has honorary affinity.
Because it goes so well with affinity. So that's one broken affinity deck. Let's move on to a card called Skull Clamp.
Now, if you listen to the last episode of the Mana Pool, it was the History of the Banhammer Part 2, where we talked a lot about the artifact lands and Ravager and Disciple of the Vault, but we also talked a lot about affinity. Not affinity, about Skull Clamp. I picked the wrong word out of that title.
Skull Clamp is just a textbook example of a card that shouldn't be. Like, there's a lot going on. So I'm just going to read it to you if you're not familiar with it. Skull Clamp, an uncommon. Single generic mana, because it's an artifact equipment. Equipped creature gets +1/-1. Well, that's stupid. That's terrible. It equips for, 1 generic mana, so why would you ever do that? That's terrible. Whenever equipped creature dies, draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
That -1 means probably gonna die and draw 2 cards for a mana.
Might go well with goblin tokens, just saying.
It might, yeah. The classic story is that this card was too good. So at the actual last minute, they changed it to +1/-1 to make it weaker. Somehow missing that means you could pay 1 mana and equip it to anything with 1 toughness and immediately draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it got banned in Standard.
Yeah, because it's an attack with Arcbound Worker, who it's a 0/0 that comes in with a +1/+1 counter, and when it dies, you can put 1 +1/+1 counter on something else. So you're not even really falling that far behind when you pay mana to draw cards. It's messed up. It's messed up.
Yeah. So, real quick, I would like to point out that Skullclamp was banned in June of 2004. And then almost a year later, in March of 2005, is when they banned Ravager, Disciple, and all 6 artifact lands. So, like, it was so bad, they just got rid of it. Way before the actual horrible things happened, and they had to ban an entire deck. That's how busted this card is. But yeah, this deck is stupid. So it's got your Ravager and your Disciple and your artifact lands and Skullclamp, and because it's got such a ridiculous amount of card draw, it's running Burn. It's got 4 Shrapnel Blasts. Now, 4 Shrapnel Blasts is 20 damage. And there were some games where, because of the draw power of your Skullclamp, you just hit them with all the Shrapnel Blasts. If your Mirror Enforcers and turn 1 Frogmites and Arcbound Ravagers with Disciple of the Vault backup didn't do it, the Shrapnel Blast surely would. And it's because you could just run through your deck using Skullclamp at, ludicrous speed.
Yeah, because bearing in mind, Skullclamp is not legendary. So if you really want to kill those 2/2s, great. Put 2 Skullclamps on it. Draw 4 cards.
Yeah.
And you're not using your mana for much else because all these creatures are free.
Yeah.
It's just a mistake.
Yeah, it's
like it is one of the iconic examples of a mistake. So you can play that in this Gauntlet thing. So what else can you play?
Well, let's get away from that.
Yes.
What's a creature type that's not Goblin that you like?
Goblin?
No, the other one.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know where you're going with this. I feel like Goblin
look,
is the
if
answer.
you only
it's not worth the time.
If you only have your Goblins deck and your other tribal deck for Legacy, and someone that you really like says, "Can I please play your Goblins?" then what are you playing?
I guess if I'm feeling up to all the triggers that day, it's Elves.
There you go.
Well, if you live in a world of artifacts, probably want to be packing green and red. So Elfin Nail is the next deck.
Yeah.
Which is based on Tooth and Nail.
This was another of those weird ones.
So
let's see. This is Craig Krimple's Nationals 2004 deck. So yeah, it just barfs mana onto the battlefield using Elves and Vernal Bloom and Vine Trellis, which is essentially an elf because it taps for green.
Yeah, and if mana dorks are good for anything, it's having 1 toughness. What card did we just talk about that you want to throw 4 of in this deck with all of this mana and expendable little guys? Skullclamp.
Seems good.
Draw more elves, make more mana, continue. What do you do with all that mana? Tooth and Nail. Search your library for up to 2 creature cards, reveal them, put them in your hand. Shuffle your library, or put up to 2 creature cards from your hand on the battlefield. Or you can entwine for 2, which means you get both, which means you pay 7 GG. Let's go get like a Darksteel Colossus and a Triskelion or something. Or a duplicate. I want 2. I don't care. Whatever. Tons of options. It's all broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out what is the point of the Triskelion. Because there's nothing busted I'm seeing in here. I guess it's just there because it's good?
Yeah, this isn't a Triskelion combo deck, right?
Yeah, not at all. I don't know. That eludes me.
Because, there were Triskelion combo decks. This just isn't one of them.
Maybe it was a meta choice against Disciple or Ravager.
It does give green a way, a essentially mono green deck a way to shoot things.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
It's like, in response to you trying to Skullclamp something, I kill it.
Yeah, that could work too.
I mean, it's an expensive way to do it, but I mean, if it prevents your opponent from drawing a bunch of cards, I guess that's something.
Yeah, and in this deck, 6 mana is actually nothing.
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Yeah. Also, you can shoot a Disciple, or keep them from playing a Disciple, essentially, because they can always kill you in response once they play a Disciple. So
yeah. So let's just move on from that Skullclamp again to Eternal Slide, which is not a Skullclamp deck.
Yeah, so this is the evolution of the Astral Slide deck. that we talked about last time.
Yep. Now with, dragons and vengeance.
Yeah,
Good
and
times.
Plow Under, which was super important.
It's such a sick card.
It is ridiculous. Put 2 target lands on top of their owner's library. Plow Under was just ridiculous. But yeah, it's got Chroma's Vengeance, which destroys all artifacts. And it's got Wing Shards, which you wait for them to load up their Ravager and attack you, and you go Wing Shards.
Yep.
Other than that, it's still the Astral Slide deck. But
Right.
now with Eternal Witness, because, damn it, that's funny.
Good time.
Plow Under. What the hell?
Okay, we're going to have another question for you, Cluze.
Yeah.
You're not playing elves. What are you playing?
Affinity?
That doesn't sound like you.
Goblins?
There you go. Goblin deck.
Yay!
You remember last week when we talked about all those cool goblins?
Yeah, I do. Those were good times.
Well, we'll relive them.
Yeah, this one is not Goblin bidding, though. It's dropped the bidding entirely, and I don't remember why. It could be that there was graveyard hate that made it impractical. I don't remember, but it's still the Goblin deck. But now it's running Click Slither. And it's also Splash Green for Oxidize, and it's got Electrostatic Bolt in it, too.
Which in that format is the best lightning bolt.
It really is. It says pay a red, deal 4 at instant speed, because it deals 2 damage to target. It's a shock, but if it shocks an artifact, it actually does 4.
Yeah, and to clarify, we know you can't hit players with it, so it's not actually it's because lightning bolt, but it's still crazy in that format. It does exactly what you want it to do.
Yeah, pretty much.
It kills that free 4/4 for 1 mana.
Yeah.
Loving the sideboard.
Sideboard.
Got Skull Clamp in it.
Starstorm.
You're a monster.
Starstorm, Viridian Shaman, Naturalize, Skull Clamp. Yeah.
Yep,
This
4 cards.
deck knows what it wants to do.
Yep. Don't dilute the strategy.
Nope. Okay, then. Up next, we have Ironworks,
Oh,
named
God.
after Krark Clan Ironworks, which has such a fair ability as sacrifice an artifact, add 2 generic mana to your mana pool. What could happen? How many artifacts are in this deck, Chewie?
I think that's colorless mana now, actually. Yeah, it is. Because it's mana. You can't get generic mana.
You're right, yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's
Yeah.
got 42 artifacts, but that's sort of unfair because, let's see, 4, 8, 10, 14, and 5 is, what did I just say?
So 19.
Hang on. Okay, wait. Where do they...
Math.
I've lost the lands. Here we go. Okay, 2, 4, and 4 is 10, 14, 19 artifact lands.
Yeah, so all of your lands qualify.
Yeah, all of your lands are because there aren't any other lands. Wow. So yeah, all of your lands are artifacts, and you've also got Chrome Mox and a bunch of talismans and Pinted Prism. So yeah, the whole point is get a Mere Incubator as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Mere Incubator says for 6 mana, and then you pay 6, tap and sack it. Search your library for any number of artifact cards, exile them, and put that many 1/1 Mere artifact creature tokens onto the battlefield. Then shuffle your library. Now it says create that many, but whatever.
Yeah. So how many 1/1s you want? Let's go with 30.
It's probably good.
Seems safe. Yeah, and if that doesn't work and you just have all these things that you can chuck for mana, well, Fireball.
Yeah. Also, Charbelcher.
Charbelcher. Good times. Goblin Charbelcher. Fuego.
Yeah, and then I like the, they mentioned the sideboard here. It's got 4 copies of Seething Song and 4 copies of Furnace Dragon. Furnace Dragon has affinity. It's a 5/5 flyer. And when it enters the battlefield, if you played it from your hand, you exile all artifacts. So essentially this goes, hey, affinity.
Yep.
So that's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's a meta choice. You guys notice how they pushed artifacts a bit in this set?
Just a little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. All right, so moving on to things that are ridiculous mana-wise. Urzatron. Urza's Mind plus Urza's Power Plant plus Urza's Tower equals Urza's Ego. Resulting in ridiculous quantities of mana for 7.
Which is pretty ridiculous.
And look, it's got that card they banned, Cluze.
You're going to have to get more specific. I'm
The
sorry.
one you wanted banned.
Brainstorm?
You're right. We should unban Sensei's Divining Top.
Yep. Hashtag, I don't know how to make that handy.
Hashtag, no, I'm not actually going to do that because then they're going to start using it. Let's not.
Yeah, no,
We're not making that mistake.
Let's not, no.
We're not feeding that. But yeah, so it's an artifact deck with blue in it. Cluze loves it.
Yeah, I think that it is like, no, it's awful.
It's got 3 Mind Slavers in it. You're going to love it, whether you want to or not.
Yeah, between the Mindslaver, the Triskelion, and the Mimnarch, there's lots of things to brutally destroy your soul and will to live.
Mm-hmm.
It's also running Solemn Simulacrum, which is one of the great cards from this era.
Yeah.
For those that don't know, it's a 4-mana 2/2 artifact creature golem. When it enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped, and shuffle. And when it dies, you may draw a card.
Sad Robot.
Yeah, Sad Robot is awesome.
He is.
Sad Robot was an invitational card.
Yes. But it was all over the place in this world outside of Affinity decks because it doesn't do anything for those decks because basic land, though.
Mm-hmm. And then when it was reprinted later, it took over Standard again. Good times. So that's Urzatron. And finally, White-Blue Control. Because it's got a lot of those cards that we just talked about, but control.
Yeah, I mean, it also helps that this is Gabriel Nassif. So, you know, if you're looking at it going, I don't get it. Why did this do? Well, because it's Gab Nassif. That's why. But this made top 8 Worlds 2004. And this is totally old school blue-eyed control. It's got board sweepers, Chroma's Vengeance and Wrath of God. It's got counter spells, card draw. It's got Wayfarer's Bauble, because want more land. And then it's got Eternal Dragon and Exalted Angel as its 2, and Decree of Justice as its 3 finishers. And really, what else do you need to know?
You need to know that Cloud Post is not spelled that way.
Clown Post, yes.
Good job, guys.
This deck list is freaking clown shoes.
Clown shoes? Yeah.
So, yeah.
So that's the Throwback Standard Gauntlet that's going to run from this Wednesday, June 7th through June 14th. If you would like to see where those scars came from, that's where you go, because you'll get a chance to experience, wait, what just happened? Oh God, these cards are terrible. I hope they learn how to test Standard in the future. The set.
It is kind of odd that they're having these play on Magic Online right now when they're doing Standard bannings again.
I mean, for old time's sake, right?
Huh. But yeah, if you think Standard is bad now, these were the dark times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, things got bad. Things got bad. And yeah, I actually think that this period of time here contributes a lot to why myself and some of my Mana Pool co-hosts just didn't get into tournament Magic at the time.
Like, things were so extreme here that they dialed things back hard in the next set, which was Kamigawa.
Yeah.
And honestly, if Return to Ravnica wasn't as well received as it was, it would have been a major detriment to the game's survival.
Original Ravnica.
Original Ravnica, sorry, yes. Ravnica, City of Guilds. That one.
Yeah, Mirrodin happened and was awful, and Kamigawa was a major shift in the other direction where people are like, Kamigawa is so underpowered. Well, yeah, but it kind of had to be. And then Ravnica was just so wildly popular that it essentially saved Magic.
Yeah. And I'm sure we'll eventually get to do like a Ravnica Standard the way these things are going. It'll probably be a fun conversation.
Probably.
But
until
for
you
right
get
now,
to the white-blue control deck from there.
Yeah, there's going to be a recurring theme. Hey, someday we'll get to talk about pickles. It'll be fun. But
I'd forgotten all about pickles. Oh my god.
soggypickles.deck. Great. We'll talk about that when they eventually get to Time Spiral. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to continue on the Magic Online news, because we've been running forever. As mentioned last week, the Magic Online PTQs are changing a little bit. Specifically, Limited PTQs, they're keeping the same, where you go through, you do a qualifier, and then you show up for the actual PTQ tournament if you make your way through the qualifier, for your opportunity to qualify for Magic actual, physical Pro Tour. They're changing around the way that constructed PTQs work online, and there's a link here in the show notes to the exact specifics of how things are working, but essentially this went into effect last week. So pretty much going forward, rather than pushing your way through the preliminary Pro Tour qualifier and getting your online tokens so that you can enter the real one, you'll be able to just go straight into, just here you go. So starting with the Modern PTQ Finals on June 18th, Constructed PTQ Finals will accept 30 event tickets or 300 play points to join. If you've got Constructed Blue PTQ Finals tokens, you can use that to join as well, though those will expire after the qualifying season for Pro Tour Ixalan. So they're trying to segue in some of the stuff that's already there, but click on this if you're interested in doing that to keep up with what's going on and see all the cost and the sign-up dates and all that. So this is the shift they're making online. We'll see if that gets reflected in other formats in the future.
So for limited, they're still doing the preliminary thing.
Yes.
And for standard, they're just going to go back to the one large event.
Yeah, they're doing that for the constructed ones.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's a little weird, but I think the reason they said was because they can limit the seats for the constructed ones a bit easier than the limited ones. And they're just not going to have everything wreck and crash theoretically like they used to. So we'll see. Making our way down. As I mentioned before, the Magic Online bug blog goes up every few weeks on a Thursday. So we've got some bug blog stuff. For the most part, it's just a rundown of cards that don't work right now or other errors. The usual disclaimer is that sometimes cards, when they do this, could give someone an advantage, in which case, if you do that on purpose, you are cheating. If someone takes advantage of these things and makes it clear that they're taking advantage of it on purpose, you can and should report them for cheating, because it's the only way we're going to police it. And you should just try to avoid getting in situations where you have to ask for a refund because things don't work. In limited, you don't always have a say in it. In constructed, probably don't run that deck until it works. So here's a quick rundown of the new things. If a commander is put on top of a library, it will still be drawn as the next card, even if it was moved to the command zone as a replacement effect. That's kind of a big one.
Huh. Duplicate commanders. Woo!
Depriving you of card draw, kind of.
Wait.
Putting card in hand that shouldn't be in hand.
So
probably
does
a
that
problem.
mean it disappears from your command zone?
I'm assuming it goes to your hand in lieu of drawing a card.
That's weird.
Well, I mean, it's very weird and it's very problematic if that's what's happening, because it gets around the commander tax, but it also, takes away your ability to do certain things with it. So, and it deprives you of a card draw. So yeah, hopefully they'll fix that, because that's kind of a broad thing. The rest of these are individual card problems. So, Curse of Shallow Graves, it's an enchantment that makes zombies, is making zombies with the incorrect art. Somehow we will pull through.
Oh no.
Custody Lich's sacrifice trigger does not occur if the Monarch token is already present.
The Monarch token.
Turkin, yeah, I know. I'm getting thirsty. Kitty bork, kitty Monarch token, kitty bork, the Custody Lich, kitty bork.
The Custody Lich, when it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch.
Good job.
And whenever you become the Monarch, target player sacrifices a creature. But if someone is already the Monarch, when you play the Custody Lich, you don't sack a creature. Or you don't make someone sack a creature, which is the whole point of playing the Custody Lich.
Yeah. So that's rough.
Yeah. Oh no. The Riptide Replicator uses the wrong art too.
What? It's spreading. It's spreading. Quick, runic repetition. Do something. No, it doesn't. It does not function. Oh no. Cluze is getting what he wants. The blue card stopped working. All right, so up next, Athreus, God of Passage, which from, the Theros block, that is the white-black god, for those who've forgotten, does not associate its triggers with specific creatures, which is problematic, because whenever another creature you own dies, return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life.
Yeah, it's the whole point of playing Athreus.
Yeah, you're not doing it to get a 5/4 indestructible creature most of the time. Which is sad, but that's how those old gods worked. And finally, Lost Legacy cannot exile split cards from libraries. Actually matters right now, because Lost Legacy is in a lot of sideboards, and split cards are actually in a lot of main boards. So be aware. Past that, you can expand the list to the known issues, and that list is probably getting longer with time. They do check things off of it occasionally too. So just if you play Magic Online, do yourself a favor and keep up with the stuff. They put out new ones every few weeks. The next one will go up probably like in a week and a half or something. I think around the 15th or whatever they said. Yeah, 15th. So next week's Thursday. And yeah, past that, I just kept in the link from last week's weekly updates, even though we talked about it. So we don't have to talk about it anymore. Hooray.
Yay.
Magic Online, still there.
Yay. So, are we done?
Yes, I think.
Excellent. Cluze, you alive?
I am, yes.
Excellent. I guess we should be done then.
All right. So I'll start the sign-offs because I always do. You can find me on Twitter at SqueeGoblinAbob. There's no I in Goblin because it picked up one of those skull clamps. And hey, I got 2 cards. Sweet. Yeah, I got to work for that one. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, tweeting and antics and all that kind of stuff. You can find me often enough wandering around in Overwatch and Chewie stream of late. There's a week left of this event, after which we'll probably, like before, let Overwatch sit over there by itself as we recover our free time. And yeah, I don't have any immediate conventions or anything coming up, so you probably won't run into me in person to any of those. Other than that, I'll say that I saw Wonder Woman and I enjoyed it. So if you're on the fence for it, probably give it a shot. It is DC's attempt at making a movie that's not entirely sitting there and brooding, and we should reward that. Yay. Go Cluze.
Okay, hey, if you want to hear more from me, can't imagine why, but let's say that you do. I have another show. It's called Random Discard, and we have come back from hiatus. We just recorded a new episode that should get posted here in the next day or two. So watch for that wherever you get your podcasts, including right here on the MTG Cast Network or at randomdiscard.com. That will work too. If you want to reach me, your best bet is probably the Twitters. I am at Lacluyze, spelled just like it is in the show notes.
How do you spell that again?
Just like it is in the show notes.
Ah, okay.
It's spelled not phonetically.
Thank goodness. So let's see, that would be Lock.
Oh, no, he's typing.
A.
This is going to be... yes, that's not how it's spelled. That's correct. Way to go.
Thank you. I am good at spelling things not how they're spelled. Actually, I'm not. I'm a stickler for spelling.
Yeah, I recently moved, and we went to the local library to get a library card because, we moved to a new area. And the person who was working at the library, taking our information and giving our cards, she actually pronounced it correctly the first time. I just handed her my driver's license. She looked at it, and she went, Lacluyze? And I said,
spelled just like it is in the
yes,
show notes?
That's
how you pronounce it, right?
That's exactly correct, yes. It's actually written on my driver's license that way. Lacluyze is spelled just like it is in the show notes. It's really hard if I have to do like a form that you have to like bubble in your name. It takes me forever.
I'm sure they just shorten it down to like Lacluyze split.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, hey, take it away, Chewie.
Sure. Why not? You can follow me on Twitter at the Manapool. Basically, you can just find me anywhere on the internet at the Manapool. If you want to find the YouTube videos, it's youtube.com/themanapool. Where, let's see, what have I put up lately? Other than podcasts, I put up cracking open 52 anniversary event loot boxes in Overwatch. That's not a small number. I put up more Overwatch, completely coincidentally, actually. Me and Bill and Cap from the Lair of Lore playing Mystery Heroes. I cut out just the funny bits of us being goofy. So that was a lot of fun. And the 100th episode of Brawling with Buddies, which every week on Hearthstone, there's a tavern brawl. And every week I pick someone on my friends list and we play like 3-ish games, depending on what the brawl is. And I did the 100th episode this week. It was nothing special because this is actually the 103rd tavern brawl. But I skipped the 3 heroic tavern brawls because, in my mind, those don't count. Plus, they cost $10 to enter, and haha, screw that. So, yeah, That's pretty cool. That means I've done this every week without missing one for 2 years. So that's pretty good. I started with the first Tavern Brawl because I was already playing at that point. How cool is that? And I had the idea, I know, I'll play with someone on my friends list and I'll call it Brawling with Buddies. And that actually stuck, and I've been doing it ever since. And sometimes it's a slog, because like Sunday night, I'm like, oh, I didn't record the brawl, because Tavern Brawls on Hearthstone, for those that don't know, they pop up on Wednesday afternoon. I think that's right. And they go away on Sunday night, which means there's a limited window there. And it seems like I'm always like driving or busy or podcasting or something and can't get it done. So the fact that I haven't missed one, I've done some with only like a couple hours to go, but I've always gotten them, and that's awesome. But yeah, coming up on the YouTube channel, I found the lost footage of Left 4 Dead that myself and Bill and Squanto and Scott all recorded back in, I think, January, while we were snowed and iced in late one night.
Is this the lost footage when we ended up on the wrong server?
Well, yeah, just all of that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we ended up on the wrong server, and then we actually completed, the entire next, I think, the DLC campaign, and then the next full campaign. Yeah, I found all that, and I was like, oh no! So I'm gonna start working on those.
Sweet.
Yeah, because those were a lot of fun, because we had zombies and Auto Squanto and Bill's bizarre keyboard map issue.
That was weird, yeah.
And yes.
Yeah, my keyboard and mouse decided that I was not allowed to use buttons for certain functions like healing people.
Yeah, he would start the heal someone else animation and then stop, because I think, what was the deal? You had two things somehow mapped onto the same button?
So the deal was that on my Logitech G5 mouse, it did not understand holding down a button. It instead interpreted that as a rapid clicking. And the way that I got around it was I ended up assigning, and this is weird, I assigned the function to a key that wasn't in use on my keyboard. And then in the program, I assigned that button on my mouse to push that key. And it could hold that.
Wow.
So once I got that nonsense sorted out, I was able to heal my friends again. But in the meantime, that resulted in a lot of bloodshed.
Yeah, heal me, Bill, and Bill's character would like wave its Bill. Actually, you were
it's
Bill.
Like, no, I was Bill, and so I was walking up to him. It was like rubbing gauze on your face instead of helping you.
Yeah, like his character would start the motion and then stop. Am I healing you? No.
I'm helping. I'm helping.
What do you mean I'm not healing you? Hang on a minute. And he'd go look, and he'd say, "That's the button. Am I healing you?" No.
Meanwhile, the longer you're standing still, the more zombies attack you.
Yeah, the AI director in Left 4 Dead does not appreciate it when you stop moving for a while. So like, while Bill was, and you can't pause it, and so while Bill was in menus and stuff, Squanto and I are like, we gotta go, we're gonna die. So yeah, I will start putting those up. I've got, if I remember correctly, it's between 6 and 8 episodes, depending on how I cut them together.
Nice.
So yeah, that'll be good. I can't believe that I just never got around to putting those up before.
Well, a lot of the fun was the fact that like Scott and Chewie and I didn't know how to play. And we learned how to play after our first run that he put up last year, but we still didn't know the maps or anything. And so a lot of it was us just like figuring it out. And I think that's the best way to play horror type games, because we didn't know where we were going. And thankfully Squanto didn't tell us. So.
Yeah, once you've played Left 4 Dead a couple times, like you know where to go, and it becomes sort of mechanical. All right, go here, fight the horde, go here, watch the witch, go here, you're in a safe room, okay, we got it. But since we didn't know that, it was lots of, where we go? What are we doing? What's that over there? Ah! It was oh god, I hear a witch. Shh, everybody shut up, like it's like talking matters.
Yeah.
Shut up, there's a witch. So yeah,
Which is why it's a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and Squanto kept like walking away and putting his character on AI, and you could tell when Squanto went away for a minute because his character would immediately heal someone and then not pick up ammo.
Auto Squanto is like, oh, you've got a tiny injury. Let's just use an entire med kit on you.
Yeah, but the good thing about Auto Squanto was he had perfect aim. When something way over there grabbed you, he would kill it immediately. Yeah. So it was a balancing act. And then Squanto would come back and be like, "What'd I miss?" We're like, "Well, you don't have a health pack anymore. Why? Because I stubbed my toe."
If this kind of nonsense sounds fun for you, you should go check it out, because this is exactly what we were like, only with way more swearing. Way more swearing. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and especially since I have been friends individually with all three of these guys for a long time. So it was a lot of fun. In other news, I don't know what else I'll be putting up. I'm almost done with the first Shovel Knight campaign, so I've got to finish that. I've got to finish the Amonkhet Magic Duels. I've got a lot more stuff that I'm able to play now in the near future. So, it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good, you guys. But yeah, if you want, so that's youtube.com/themanapool. I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/themanapool, where you can go see me play stuff live. At the moment, it's Overwatch because there's an Overwatch event, and I want loot, so we have to play. So that's what happens. Sorry. But in the very near future, I'm going to be playing other stuff too once the event's over. Some indie games, some other long-form games, just other stuff to be streaming that isn't just Overwatch or Hearthstone. I want to branch out, play some other stuff. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I love it, love it, love it. But first, we have to get through the damn Overwatch event. And theoretically, they'll take a break on those because they've been really rapid fire with them lately.
God, I hope so. They're turning into Marvel in the 2000s. Just huge event every summer. No! Except this is like huge event every quarter. And I'm sure it's great for their pocket, but it's burning me out.
Yeah.
But anyway. Also, I'm on Twitter at @themanapool, where if you want to... This is where I just post random thoughts all the time. And it's also where everything gets linked to. Anytime I go live on Twitch, anytime a YouTube video goes up, anytime a podcast goes out, it hits Twitter. So if you want to keep track, that's a way to go. And also facebook.com/themanapool does all that too. Yay. So if you're not a Twitter person, you can go like us on Facebook. Or follow? I don't remember what it is.
Cult us on Facebook.
You can cult us on Facebook. I don't think we're big enough to be a cult just yet, but we're working on it.
Organized gathering on Facebook.
Woohoo! Is that everything?
I think so.
Facebook, YouTube. Oh, and you can send me an email to Chewie, that's CHEWIE, @themanapool.com or @mtgcast.com. They both go to the same place. Pick your favorite.
And you said Patreon, right?
I was just getting to that. If you want to help support
Excellent.
what I do with all of this ridiculous amount of podcasting and Twitch streaming and YouTubing, then please go to patreon.com/themanapool and check it out. You can get YouTube videos and Manapool episodes early if you want. You can get the early stuff and get the odds and ends, which is all the stuff recorded before and after both Monday Night Magic and the Manapool. It's uncensored and unfiltered, and generally, I think unsafe for consumption is probably safe. It's us talking about all like our lives, the other nerdy things we're interested in. We go off on, like, if I'm talking with Bill, we will talk about Overwatch and comic book movies and comic book storylines from the 90s and TV shows and all that stuff. And if it's like me and Mike, we'll talk about Hearthstone and that one jackass that one time and work, that sort of thing. It's not real content, which is why I don't mind putting it behind a paywall, as it were, but it's just more of us being us, let's say. Yeah, plus you get to hear Dirk's wife when she decides to interrupt and steal Dirk's headset. So I guess that's a plus. And if that sounds interesting to you, then you're in luck, because I am way behind and I am making a supremely concerted effort to get caught up. So in the last, I think, 2 weeks, I've put up something like 8 or 10 of these. So I've been churning them out. And yeah, there you go. Missing something. Oh, and the final reward tier, you can get all of that, the early stuff, the odds and ends, and get your name on the end slate for every video that goes up for each month that you support at that tier. Yay. And I appreciate it. Chasing the dream, and I can't do it without you guys. But I'm still doing it. Right, Bill?
Yeah.
Right, Cluze?
Right.
Right, Steve? Okay, good. Nobody answered. That would have been weird. I guess he's on the bus. He probably couldn't.
He's having fun being Nicol Bolas. It's better he doesn't respond.
That's probably better.
Dude hates you, according to Cluze.
Oh, yeah. Damn it, Cluze. Now I'm sad. You didn't have to tell me. Anyway, so right, we've been rambling long enough. So this has been Monday Night Magic, episode 563. Thank you all so very much for listening, and go play some magic.